Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
We got Jon Abbott, our friend from the old Funny Station days, 1040. He's got himself a new gig. He's the new voice of the Calgary Flames on television, on Sportsnet there in Alberta. And Jon joins us now. Jon, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you? Now I can't hear him.
Yeah, we can't hear him.
Yeah.
Oh.
What yet?
Okay. Jon, you there?
Hi, guys. I got
there you go. Oh.
Hey, what a great start. I am excited to excited to talk to you again, even if some people might want to mute me. I'm happy you guys don't.
Oh, well, trust me, we get that a lot about ourselves,
Yes,
Jon.
yes.
Don't worry about that for a second. First of all, just from a personal point of view, you must just be so excited to land a job like this.
Oh, it is. I am very excited to get going, and it is a dream gig. It's kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity for me, and here I am following Rick Ball once again. So I'm gonna have to pay him, get him at least a dinner, maybe some commission here, depending what he orders up when Chicago comes in. And that's actually the first game I'll be doing on Sportsnet is Calgary versus Chicago. So it was meant to be, guys, and. Yeah, I'm extremely grateful, extremely happy to be part of the Sportsnet crew.
And we're happy for you. So no more Markstrom, Mangiapane, Lindholm, Zadorov. Canuck fans know about that. No playoffs for a couple of years. So what's a realistic goal for the Flames this year, Jon?
Yeah, great question, Donnie. I think the fan base, mostly the reaction that I've received is they want to be competitive every night. They want, the fans want to see a team that's going to go out there and surprise some teams, maybe surprise the National Hockey League a little bit with how they play and who they're able to beat on a nightly basis, some consistency and really a hardworking team. So that's what the fan base wants to see in the majority. There is some in the minority that are looking for a high draft pick. Maybe both are achieved this season, yet to be played out. But, talking to the guys yesterday in the dressing room, it was the veterans like Kadri and Huberdeau and Lomberg who just won a Stanley Cup, who's back with the Flames. Continuing to tell people that they're out to prove the doubters wrong. So this is a team internally that's very inspired. I think they'll be kind of middle of the pack, fighting all season, but I do think they're going to be a hardworking team and a tough out from game to game.
So many trades made in the last little while by the Flames, so many draft picks acquired. Craig Conroy was hired May 2023. What's the general consensus in Calgary on the job he's doing?
I think overwhelmingly positive. You look at some of the patience that was required, and anytime you move out 9 regulars, that's a lot. And even just the feel to the way this season started compared to the last one, at that time there was a list of unrestricted free agents. There was a list of players that seemingly wanted out. This year, those players for the most part have been moved on, and there's some consistency. So I think the fans are pretty happy with the job that Conroy's been done, considering what was handed off to him or landed in his lap, so to speak. And he's proven in a deal like with Jacob Markstrom, in other trades that he's made or moves he's had to make, that he's not just going to take the first thing that comes up to him or presented to him. So I think he's proven that he's a guy that's going to make sure there's value there for the Calgary Flames. It's not just a trade for the sake of making a trade. And he might have a few more moves to make before this season is done, but for the most part, I think everyone's in the Calgary market's been has a positive reaction with Craig Conroy and feel like he's the right guy to move the team forward.
Jon, tell us about former Vancouver Giant Samuel Honzek. His training camp is preseason. He's on the top line tonight with Kadri and Kuzmenko. This kid, that was a big story in Calgary. He made the club.
Real big story. And Rick, it's a great story. This is proof in the pudding of where Calgary's going, I think. And maybe Honzek arrived a little bit earlier than they expected as far as an opening day lineup spot, but they were pretty high on him last year. And you guys know what he went through with the Giants a little bit, some injuries, and that plagued him at the NHL level too last preseason. So it's been a bit of a tough path even for a highly touted prospect to get to this point. But boy, did he ever prove it. Right out of Penticton through main camp, he just kept elevating his game. He was leading the preseason at one point in points and just continued to insert himself into the lineup night after night after night. And here he is I'm sure if you ask the Flames, they'd love to have 31 goal scorer Sharon Govich available, but I think Hanzik still would have made this team, Rick. That's how good he played at a training camp. And for Ryan Huska, the head coach, he was talking about if they feel there's a player that's going to help them win, that player is going to be on the team. And they proved it by getting Sam Hanzik a spot on opening night. So couldn't be happier for the young man. I think he's going to be shot out of a cannon tonight, as it happens to be full circle for him in Vancouver to start his NHL career officially. And I know the Giants were in Calgary taking on the Hitmen a couple of days ago, so he was able to catch up with some former teammates. Now his parents know. I'm not sure whether they're going to be able to make it in time to BC tonight, but it's an incredible experience for the young man and really a great sign of things to come for the Calgary Flames.
John, I don't know how many blue lines can afford to lose Tanev, Hanifin, Zadorov. Boy, that blue line last year lost a lot of experience, a lot of good defensemen. What's that defense now in Calgary looking like?
Well, they've added good island boy, Tyson Barrie, 33-year-old. Not sure if he is in the lineup tonight. It was looking like he may be on the outside looking in, but he's a guy that's fought his way onto the team through a PTO and had some veteran experience, really good in the room. The guys have gravitated to him already, and trying to shore up the right side, trying to get a boost for the power play, Rick and Donnie, and adding a guy like Tyson Barrie. So he'll be, if he's not in tonight, he'll be in sooner rather than later. Kevin Ball coming over in the trade from Jacob Markstrom, as you know, had a bit of an injury spell through the preseason, but he's going to be playing beside Rasmus Andersson. So they feel their top two pairs are set now. Uyghur having the great career year last year, trying to continue that. It'll be Miramanov beside him, picked up from the Vegas Golden Knights, and then it'll be Anderson and Ball. So that's their top four. It does look drastically different than it did at the beginning of last season, but again, they feel like they have enough stability from veterans that have played in the league and been there before with Calgary, adding a few new faces, and I think they're pretty high on Ball as well, guys.
John, you and Rick mentioned Samuel Hanzik being on that first line. I believe his line mates are Naz Kadri and Andrei Kuzmenko. What do the Flames expect from the ex-Canuck this season?
They expect him to continue his power play work that helped a power play go from one of the worst in the league at the beginning of last season. I think they were third worst at the trade deadline. You get Kuzmenko, and they finished third best in the National Hockey League. And you think of a team that's going to play hard, compete every night, but maybe needs that little boost to be able to push them to a margin of victory. You probably get that boost in a category like a power play guys. And so he's not just a specialty player. He's not Sam Gagner. He's going to be getting the regular shift, and they need him to score. But power play would be a big part of his responsibility. So they're looking for a boost from Kuzmenko to the power play on a more consistent basis. And I think that transfers over onto the opening night forward line as well. He's found a fit with Nazem Kadri. Those two play off each other pretty well. I'm sure the Flames would love Kuzmenko to get back to 39 goals. I don't know if that's quite possible, but they are expecting him to produce offense consistently. And if he can find that, guys, if he can find that consistency in his game, I'm sure that's what the Canucks were looking for at 1.2. Then this Flames group does have a legitimate threat in Kuzmenko, who, by the way, is likely looking for some type of extension sooner rather than later. So he has invested interest, and Calgary has invested interest in him.
And Abs, before we let you go, is it possible to put into words, on a sad note here, the impact Johnny Gaudreau had on the Flames organization?
Oh, it is going to be a season where they honor him start to finish, and obviously that's already happened through the tragic news becoming public. They had 13 days where they honored him publicly, and boy, the fan base, I just give such credit to the organization and the fans around the National Hockey League, but particularly those in Calgary for coming out and honoring his memory outside the Saddle Dome. They'll continue to do that starting tonight, recognizing, I believe, over first 13 games of the season, paying a tribute to Johnny and Matthew and the Gaudreau family. It does go beyond Johnny. Obviously, he's front and center with what he meant to the organization, but their family was in Calgary a lot, and that's obviously where he started his career, and they've become part of the Flames family through that. So yeah, there's so many people on the staff that have been there right from the start with Johnny. So it'll be continuing to weigh heavy on everyone really around the team, and then of course the players. So they'll take this opportunity to to honor his legacy on the ice and remember him off the ice. And I don't think that'll change past this year, but certainly you'll see a lot of things along the way this season starting tonight.
Abs, thanks so much for this. And again, congratulations on the new gig.
Thanks, boys. Hope to reconnect with you soon. Thanks for having me on.